Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Got a bunch of great guests here, had a couple cancellations, but we won't mention that. We got plenty of sports talk, and you know I can handle it. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. My man Smoking Jim Frazier's not here. I got a whole pizza for him in honor of him. I don't know what his injuries are. We're still praying for him. He said the other day, "Thanks, buddy." So I don't know what that means, but I heard he's getting better. He is at home. We don't know when he'll be back. He's supposed to be getting rehab for undisclosed injuries, but we will figure that out later, and we're going to do the show without him. The show is sponsored, What's on Your Mind, by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. He fixes anything and everything that runs on gas. I was at his station today for his buffet. He had a nice little buffet there today from sausage, ham, cheese, anchovies, sardines, and they had Bethel Bakery donuts, which I live a mile away. I travel 7 miles just to get my Bethel Park donuts, and it was delicious. But that's what happened today out at Skeets Service Station. Make sure you give him a call. I think I got his number. Let's see. It's 724-348-4715. How's that for a memory? Call him out there. It's a red, white, and blue station right past Trax Farm in Mineral Beach. He will work on your car, your truck, your tractor, your boat, weed whacker. You name it, runs on gas, he'll fix it. What's on my mind is the Buccos. They play 162 games. They started out weak this season, but they just won 4 games in a row against the Reds. Believe it or not, they're talking about their pitching. It's one of the big ifs that they have this year. They have the best ERA in the league at 2.5 runs per game. Go figure that out. People that talk about bottom line Bob, maybe he doesn't like spending that money, but he got some great talent there on the pitching staff. Now, if we can only keep scoring runs, that would be nice. And they did score 7 yesterday, so that helped. And I'm just going to root for them. It's a 162-game season. You see a lot of ebbs and flows, wins and losses. And, you know, people like to complain about baseball because it's all about the stats. You can see who's producing, who's not. Look at Josh Bell, what streak he had hitting home runs and doubles. Just showed a lot of his power, and he was just banging that ball off the fence and over the fence. So be hopeful. I bleed black and gold, as you know. I like all the Pirate teams, but I do criticize them when they're not playing well. I'll take this 4 games in a row, and we'll see what happens from here in Chicago. So have a great day. We're going to start bringing our guests up right now. This friend of mine, Attila Domos, recommended that I contact a guy who's a runner, and he has an interesting story to tell with what's happened to him during running, and he's overcame some obstacles. So I'm going to bring him up. Will you come up now? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell them your name. Just talking to the mic.
Yep.
You can move up a little bit.
Sweet.
There we go.
So, my name's Ben Hinton from Bethel Park, PA. Been here since 2011, where I met my fiance, now wife, where we reside with our almost 4-year-old daughter.
Nice. He's a neighbor of mine. What street do you live on?
We live on Glen Hill Drive, just off of Keystone. Yeah.
I know where it's at. So, all right. Now, we both know Attila.
Yes, we do.
I heard you were at my show last year when Attila and Wendy Bell were here, right?
Yes, I was. I was here with Attila last year as he was on track to try to break the 24-hour hand cycling record, and he came here and did a great interview. Wanted to come out and support him, and got to try some of the amazing food here as well. So it was a great time.
Oh, I'm glad you made it. Glad you reached out to me, and I just heard you had an incident. What the heck happened?
Yeah, I actually just had an incident today, actually. I went to work today, was going to take the day off, and I told my wife last night if I could get a good night's sleep, I was going to go into work, and thought, I maybe had like the 24-hour flu or, bug or something, and went to work, and I actually passed out at work today. So, but when I came to, All the vital signs were good, and they
Hold
took
it.
me.
You texted me. You passed out at work and
Yeah.
didn't know if you could make the show. What did I say?
You said if you can make it, come on down. And you said
If you
just
feel
hope it's all
better,
well.
come on out.
Yeah, and I felt better as soon as I got
pumped
home.
you right
and-
up.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be here, so passing out couldn't hold me back. So
I appreciate that. That shows me you're a competitor.
Yeah, that's
Because
definitely.
we win in different ways in life.
Yep, we do.
We may have suffer little defeats and things like that, but we keep plugging away.
Yep.
That's why I've been doing this show for 7.5 years to promote people like yourself and others.
Yeah.
Now, when did you start running?
So I started running competitively in 2013. Actually, then.
How come so late?
Well, I grew up playing basketball, and that was my passion. I thought it was my purpose and what I wanted to do. I wanted to play collegiately, maybe try to play overseas. Got into coaching.
You might have one impediment.
Yeah, I have a couple, actually.
Well,
yeah.
one of them's the height.
Yeah,
'Cause
no.
my dad was a basketball referee, and I met some giants.
Yeah.
And I met some small guys that played the heck out of the game.
Yeah, I was a pretty good shooter, but I was scared of heights, so I think that's where my vertical challenge was. It's not very much of a jumper, so I think that's why I never grew too large because I was always afraid of heights. But so I was a pretty good shooter, but yeah, I had a couple impediments for sure. And so in 2013, I had been out of college for a couple years, and I was home alone, and I fell down a flight of stairs. Maybe it was a passing out episode. Who knows? So I ended up with a traumatic brain injury. So I found running through rehab. I couldn't play basketball anymore, and I had gone down a dark road for a while with that. But I was always, aerobically fit. So when I got into running and started seeing progress, I just, as Forrest Gump, just kept running. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, what's this passing out thing that happens? Do you have epilepsy or anything like that?
We're not sure.
Because that's scary to have to pass out and not know what's causing it.
Yeah, and I mean today at work and just pass out, and then when the thing is waking up and I was they took me to the hospital today to get checked out, and to have everything come back normal, blood work, blood sugar, hydration, all that stuff. It could come down to some kind of a neurological deficit that
they haven't found.
No, they haven't found. And I was born with a condition when I was 6 weeks old. I have a low resting heart rate, so it's just one of those things where
How low is it?
It's in the 30s. It's between 30 and 32. Yeah, apparently that's what I've always been told. So, yeah.
Well, they're not lying to you.
Yeah, no. So and then. But I mean, it's kept me going, up to this point so far.
How's
so
your heart rate after you run? What do you run? A mile, a couple miles, 10 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles?
It depends on the training plan. Some days are easier days than others. And I've learned.
What's a hard day?
Hard day is right now. Hard day is around 15, 16 miles.
What's your heart rate then? I know you check it.
Yeah, it ranges anywhere from like 30 to 182 is a max. So usually doesn't get that. Yeah. It hardly ever gets that high. Like that's just depending on the effort and the training.
You doing any hills?
Yeah, I do some hills, especially Bethel Park. I mean, there's a lot of hills in Bethel Park. Going just out of my house is a hill either way. So
I got to walk down my driveway. It's a hill downwards.
Oh yeah. So is ours. Every driveway in Bethel.
It's not fun shoveling it either. You want to come over, neighbor?
Yeah.
All
They
right.
add some training in with that as well. Yeah. Every hill in Bethel's, every driveway in Bethel's a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Well,
Yeah.
people are amazed. They go, "You got to watch yourself shoveling that driveway." Well,
Yeah.
how am I getting out?
Yeah.
I don't want to slide in the street and into the yard.
Yeah.
So this running, you've been doing it since 2013.
Yeah. I've so in 2013, 8 weeks after my traumatic brain injury, I had already. So before my accident, I had decided to run the Pittsburgh Half Marathon, and so I was going to transfer my bib, and the doctors, they suggested not to run it, things like that, which I was going to listen. And when I called in to tell them I couldn't do it and I had doctor's orders, the thing that set me was they said you have to get a transfer, so someone would have to pay you for it. And so that really triggered the competitiveness in me, and I said, I just came off a traumatic brain injury, and now I have to get someone to pay me $100 for my bib for the race I was going to run. So I knew I had to do it. The competitive
So
spirit.
because of $100, you're running.
Yeah, because $100 and
I like your style.
Yeah, so I said, you know what, I'm going to do it, and finally got everyone on board, and even though I told them I'd walk if I needed to, which I wasn't going to walk, and so after the first one,
You ran the whole 13.1 miles? 'Cause that's what a half marathon is.
Yeah, I decided I was going to run the whole thing because I knew, no matter what, I was going to get a PR, so there was no pressure. I knew I was just going to stay on the right side, stay with the crowds, and just enjoy it and kind of have a moment. The first time, that was
Well, I'm talking that time.
Yeah, that was a 9:57 pace, so I think it was around 2 hours and 10 minutes that I finished.
Good, bad, or indifferent?
That's great. I mean, a lot of people, the big goals for marathons is sub 5 hours, and half marathons is sub 2 hours. So it was awesome to get a 2 hour 10 the first time.
So you got it in you.
Yeah, and that's when I knew that I might have found something. But I was doing a lot of rehab, and I thought, there's no way I can keep up with this lifestyle and training. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know, and so then the following year.
How did you learn about it?
Well, the following year, because I was always working out as a kid. Again, basketball was my thing, but I was aerobically fit. So after the first half marathon, the next fall, because I've always used trainers and things, and I've always just loved working out in general. Not just basketball, but just things to help out with basketball and different
You're
things.
always staying in shape.
Right, and so 2014, I realized, because I was starting to actually lose some weight, because I was getting back to the gym and I was feeling better. And after a traumatic brain injury, that really made me, believe that I got to continue down the road of working out and eating right and things like that. And
let me interrupt you. I didn't ask you what you weigh, but what do you weigh? Because you don't look like you weigh more than $130.
No, now I weigh 134. So
I was pretty good then.
Yeah, you were very close.
All right. I won't ask women. If I have a woman boxer coming up, I'm not asking her weight because I don't want to get hit.
Well, it's funny. Runners get that. Runners get that a lot, though. I lost a lot of weight over the journey. 6 years now. And
hold on. What did you weigh in 2013?
2013,
I'm
I was
testing you now. 150.
No, I was 177, and so I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to lose weight. It wasn't my intention. But when I started running and I got back to the gym, I lost 36 pounds in about.
I want to find the guy that picked it up.
Yeah, I'd like to know too. It's.
Oh, he's sitting right there.
I've been maintaining.
That's great.
Yeah, I've been maintaining that weight ever since. So, but it's funny, having friends I've grown up my whole life that I played basketball with and different things. Like I can eat, and so they always make jokes about.
Have a slice of pizza.
Yeah, they always make jokes.
In honor of Smoking Jim.
Yeah, the food here is awesome. I had their stromboli last year, so. But, it's just funny, runners, when you get in that community, you get questions about weight all the time, and you start to think about it, because once runners, they'll say, oh, you don't weigh enough.
You got a
this
carbo
and that.
load and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, so, yep.
You need the pasta.
Yeah.
All right, now what's your future plans?
So, future plans, as I've been running and I've gotten into competitions from the full marathon to the half and different distances, trying to compete and trying to qualify for the 2020 Olympics, and I'm working with a trainer right now, and we're gonna try to give it our best shot to see if I can get the times in the half marathon.
What kind of times do you need for 2020?
So for 2020, I need an hour and 4 minutes for the half marathon. So
that's like half of the time that you took for your first marathon.
Yeah, and my PR.
I can do math.
Yeah, and the PR right now is about 129, so I still have a good bit of time to shave. But I've shaved a good bit.
Are you hopeful?
I am. I'm hopeful because I've seen.
How do you save time like that? That seems like a lot of time to me.
Yeah. For me personally, a lot of it's just focus. After my accident, having different issues with the balance issues and things like that. Really, just every run, every workout makes you focus on what you're doing.
Sure.
A lot of people are at the gym and they're looking at their TV or they're looking at their phone and
you're
different
not.
things. No, I'm running with a purpose every time, and it's just like you said, the competitive spirit. You get knocked down and get back up again.
I always say, what do you do
miles.
next?
Yeah.
I know what you're doing next. You want to make the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's a win-win because I'm healthy as I've ever been, and even though today.
Except for this episode today.
Yeah, except for this. But who knows? Maybe I would have had more episodes if I wasn't in good shape and trying to take care of myself. So
I like that attitude.
yeah, so it's a win-win situation. If I make it, it'd be awesome, and if I don't, I tried. I definitely got a lot further than if I didn't try. So yeah.
No, that's great. How do people get a hold of you? Because are you going to fundraise for this or anything?
So
do you need any help?
I've thought about fundraising, and I have a really, really good friend of mine. His name's Alvis, and he's from Miami, Florida. So my life philosophy is be encouraged every day. To encourage others is to encourage ourselves. So I've thought about doing some fundraising, and we've actually been working for a while. And
this is why I bring it up.
Yeah, we've been working for a while to come up with some apparel. So for being encouraged every day, we have some bracelets. We've done a couple things.
What are you wearing there?
So I have a bracelet here that I have, and this one
Did I segue into it nicely?
Yes, you did really good. And so the bracelet's be encouraged every day. It's the hashtag I like, and then it says lead with the heart and the mind will follow. And I'm trying to work with the Brain Injury Association of America as well. And trying to maybe in the future do some fundraising for some of the races I have coming up, especially the half marathons in July, and then in November.
Where's this one going to be at in July?
It's going to be in Erie, PA. It's the Prescott half marathon. And
Wasn't the Pittsburgh Marathon in about 3 weeks? Are
you
going to perform in that?
The Pittsburgh Marathon is it's in 3 weeks, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to make that one this year, unfortunately. So I bumped it to July, and then I'm going to do the Philadelphia half in November.
Okay.
So yeah, and so I'm looking to maybe fundraise and, like I said, work with the Brain Injury Association of America.
Do they get a hold of you on Facebook?
Yeah, the best you can get a hold of my personal page is Ben Hinton. Feel free to reach out anytime. We also have Instagram.
Spell your last name, because some people are old like me and they don't hear well.
Hinton is Hinton, and the Instagram page, I do a lot of my social media on Instagram, and it's just at Be Encouraged Every Day, one word. And Facebook page too, yeah, for the Instagram, and I'm on there a lot. So
you can like my page, Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, on Instagram.
Yes,
it's all
I definitely
one word.
Awesome. I'll follow that.
Thank you.
And so that's kind of the plans moving forward, and we'll just take it one day at a time, run at a time.
Anytime you want to promote something, let me know, and I'll promote it on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Awesome. Thank you.
Would that be okay?
That'd be awesome. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks for being a great
Thank
guest.
You.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
No more passing out. Stay strong.
Yes, thank you so much.
Especially running.
Yes, exactly.
All right, our next guest, her dad's a big fan of mine, Tim Davis. I'll give a shout out to him. Here's your daughter. This is Colleen Davis. She's a 3-time Golden Glove champion. I've seen her develop over the last few years. I'll ask her some questions, so we'll find out more. But just your punchability, thanks to Jose, is just unbelievable.
Thank you.
When I first saw you box and we filmed your fights to when I see you box now, it's like another person.
You've been a part of the whole journey. I was gonna say you saw my very first fight, and then you saw my most recent ones too.
Yes,
so
no, we have, and
been friends for a few years now.
Yes, we have been. And tell them your name in case I butchered it.
Colleen Davis.
Okay, and I won't ask your weight.
You can, because we went down
a
a weight class.
Was it in the program?
132 now.
I know. I saw it. I was shocked the other day when it was at 140. Mm-hmm. And that's what you fought at. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen you fight at that weight. So I wondered about it. Now I saw you're down to 132. Mm-hmm. How do you cut the weight?
We do all natural things. We do it the healthy way. No, stimulants or anything like that. I basically just do what Jose tells me to do. Take the right supplements.
We'll have him on, and I'm going to try to pull that information out of him.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of meal would you have? Do you have chicken with no breading, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, Smoking Jim's favorite? He buys a bucket of it.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It does.
A pizza looks good, too.
You can have a slice.
But
now that I know you're going back up again.
Basically, it's a lot of what you eat, but also what I found out is it's a lot of, like, the timing of when you eat. And
time of day?
Yes. So, like, we weren't
what
eating
are good
after the
times?
gym. Nothing after, 7 p.m.
You shut down.
Shut down. Mm-hmm.
When do you start eating?
I eat breakfast in the morning.
You have the breakfast.
Yeah.
Because there's pros and cons against having breakfast and not having breakfast.
Yes. I feel the difference in my brain, My brain
function
knows.
better.
Yes.
Well, that's like, I wonder, how long have you been boxing?
I started in high school, so that was a little over 10 years ago.
We don't want to know your age. We'll do some math. Okay, I got it.
Just for fitness and to get out some aggression. I was had a bad attitude.
So you found boxing.
Yeah.
Did that help?
Yep, me and my best friend went to...
Who's your best friend?
Jane.
Her baby's so cute.
Yeah.
I have to say that.
Yeah. She, her and I went to just kind of learn for fitness and to stay in shape. And we learned the basics. And
well, you're in Millville,
I decided
right?
I wanted to compete, so I went with.
So you went to Ray Schaefer?
Yes.
And you found it. How did you find them?
There was always a rumor that there was a gym in Sharpsburg, and I've heard of it, and finally I walked in the doors one day, and the rest is history.
Whoa!
Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I guess.
What a story! No, I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And what do you do for a real job?
I work downtown at a bank.
Get on it. You're a banker.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, that's good. Every day.
Yeah.
And then how do you fit all this boxing in?
Oh, I do. Sometimes in the morning before work and sometimes after, weekends.
You look in great shape. Do you do road work?
Yes. The road work's my favorite.
Get on.
I love road work, yes.
That's what helps. Like, I watch a lot of fights, you know that, and I try not to be too critical. But in the first round, I see some great athletes. They're knocking the heck out of the other guy or girl. Then the second round, they're not so energetic.
Yeah.
And then the third round, they're getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, I don't know what happened to this fight. And it's like, do you do road work? And they go, no.
The conditioning is everything. It's definitely everything. It's a big
you got a
part of what
coach
we
and
do.
A trainer that believes in that conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wants you throwing 300 punches the first round and the last round.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? No quitting your game.
We sit there with a pen and paper sometimes
No,
and count.
You're ciphering.
Yep. Every time we're on that bag.
How did you develop your crisp punches now? Because they're so straight and spot on.
Just
many
a lot
hours?
of repetition, doing a lot of drills that weren't fun, and to be honest. And then something happened the past year, you start to find your rhythm.
I saw the development. I'm serious. Because, me and Smoke and Jim talk about the fights. Of course, he loves you like crazy. And I'll go, look at her punching. And then he'll be like, no, look at her shoes, or look at this. I go, look at her shape that she's in. But, we try to clarify that, but I could see something gelled with you. It was like a switch went on, right?
Yeah.
And did you notice that?
Yeah, I definitely like the movement. It's everything. It's the conditioning, the strength, it's the movement. We focus a lot on the movement, the different things, footwork, ways to punch while you're moving.
Here's the thing I have to ask, because most the boxers aren't as pretty as you are. And I noticed that what happens when you get hit in the face? What do you think?
It's supposed to happen. Yeah, I
like it. You just take it.
It makes me feel alive, Yeah.
It gets you kicked up a notch. And you go to the next level and hit them back.
Yeah, that's a fighter, man. You can tell right away. Like, nobody likes getting hit, but after a while, you like getting hit.
You sort of enjoy it.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Process.
Yeah, it's who I am.
You're a boxer.
Yeah.
Right? You'll tell people you're a boxer.
Yep. I love it.
And I'm just proud of the effort that you put in.
Thank you.
And I can see the hard work that you've put in to do this. So, as you know, I'm a fan.
Thank you.
If you didn't notice, I had to tell you that.
Yes, thank you.
And what do you look for in the future?
Eventually, I think possibly within the next year, turning professional.
Get on. The headgear's coming off, and look out.
Yes.
You know what? We see a lot of fighters blossom once the headgear's taken off.
Yeah.
For some unknown reason. They're like unrestricted now.
Yeah, we train on a professional level. We, conduct ourselves as professionals. So.
Well, you're one of the rare breed that you have a boxer trainer that was a professional. The Puerto Rican Prince.
Yes.
So he's been there and done that.
Yep.
And he's a great teacher from what I've seen with you and others in his gym.
Yes, I'm so lucky, so lucky. I think everybody needs a Jose in their life because
it's helped you.
Yeah, through so much, yes, and I think next year we'll be ready to take that step. So
you're going to be ready to turn pro. No more Golden Gloves.
No more Golden Gloves.
That's it. We won't talk about your last fight. I prefer not to. I'd rather think of you as a 3-time champion, because that's so cool in itself to even say that.
Thank you.
Because most aren't even 1-time champions, let alone 3-time.
Yeah. It was a lot. I mean, we had to go through a lot to get there, but...
there's travel, there's working out, there's boxing when you're tired.
Yep. All the sacrifices.
There's going out there when you're sick and you don't feel 100%.
Yes.
And then you got to go be a banker.
Yeah.
You got to handle that.
A banker.
And when they ask what happened to your eye, nothing.
Someday we won't have to be a banker anymore.
Yeah, there you go. Well, with the boxing and the pros, you never know.
Yeah.
There's some money out there.
Yep, there is.
That'd be a great goal to make some money at boxing,
oh,
wouldn't
absolutely.
it?
All
that work to make money?
Yep. And to be doing what you love, to get paid to be a fighter.
I appreciate that you love the sport. It's a pleasure having you on the show. I don't like to give out women's phone numbers, but how would people get a hold of you? Where could they see you at? Or
you can add me on Instagram.
Okay, tell them.
I usually just post some boxing stuff on there. It's at CollydDog_.
Spell that out.
COLLYDOG_.
And you put your boxing stuff up on Instagram.
Yeah,
okay.
Fight news.
Follow her
things
there.
Like that.
That's how simple. I'm a simple guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you on the show. As you know, I'm a fan. Keep going.
Thank you.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And thanks for
having
being.
me.
You're welcome. You're always welcome.
I would just like to say hi to Smoke and Jim, and I just wanted to say we miss you, and I hope you get well soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got this movie actor up here. Tell us your name.
Jose Carballo.
Nice to have you on the show. You've been on a few times. You always bring great boxers on the show, and just seeing the development of Colleen, it shows me that you know what you're doing. You might be loud at times. I've heard you on our boxing matches yelling and screaming, but I'll tell you what, he's one of the most passionate guys that I've met in the boxing arena. Seriously. I love your passion. I like how you're 110% behind your boxers no matter what.
Right.
And you see the fights like I see the fights, only you're a little more prejudiced than I, because some of them are your boxers. And we always say if it goes to the judges, look out.
Yeah.
Judges are my friends, but sometimes I don't know what happens.
Right. And I understand. I'm seeing more of it now. And as far as like standing, but like you said, you push behind your athletes, your fighters.
Yeah.
And that's true. But I stand there as to say, is like, we're not going to take it. They work hard. If they make a mistake, it's back in the lab. And we work on what we have to.
Sure.
But if I'm winning a fight and I come out and you rob the fighter and the other coaches are saying, hey, man, I feel like you guys got that. Well, how do I explain that to my fighter?
This is why I have them on. When do you hear honest statements like that?
That's the truth. And
that's the honest truth of the matter here that we're talking about.
Right.
We're seeing something like if somebody's very busy, like a Colleen or somebody, or throwing punches, and the other one's grabbing and holding, how are they scoring?
I don't understand it.
That's the only question I have.
And listen, I can sit here with you guys, and I would love to have a nice table of the current officials that are judges in our
someday.
You know what I mean? And they could sit here and they could watch some of these fights that they already made their judgment on, and I'd like to see them explain that to everybody here and and on camera.
Sure.
How did they come up with that decision that person won the fight?
Right. What was their basis of that decision? Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you look at it, you're supposed to have the rules of ring generalship, effective aggressiveness. Not saying, hey, I backed Colleen up and put her on the ropes, but you did it by holding her gloves and pushing her. You left that part out. This is boxing. Right. You're supposed to do it with jabs, uppercuts, hooks, head movement, a little bit of pivoting and angles.
Right. Not the wrestling.
We see none of that anymore in Pittsburgh. There are a few guys. That stand out. And there's some females that have skills. But the main word for what they're turning it into is what these athletes have in common isn't anymore just tough. They're all tough. They can all stand there and take a punch.
Yeah.
They can all wrestle you to try to get a good position on
push
you.
your line.
But to stand there and actually box and have to fight, it's a totally different story. And I see less and less of that happening here in Pittsburgh, and it's a shame. I fought for 24 years.
Is that how long you fought?
I've been in the game. Listen, I'm still in the gym fighting.
No
pros
way.
or amateurs. Yeah, the pros call me up and say, hey, listen, we're getting ready for a camp. Can we come down and get sparring? All the other coaches and the amateurs call me up and say, hey, can we come down and get sparring? We don't see movement like you guys produce.
Right.
You know, we don't see this type of stuff.
Right.
Everybody,
they want to be challenged. Most good fighters that I know and boxers and trainers do want to be challenged because that's how you get better. Look at Colleen. She's the spotlight tonight. Right. I've seen her develop, and like a switch went on and clicked. Here's what I have to do to succeed. Yeah, you showed her the way.
Right, and I get that, and that's what's more disappointing about it. When you bring the fighter to that light, and now they're starting to work and feed off of that light's energy, but then you got somebody standing over there who has the authority to judge the fight, and you're thinking these people have to have a good background in this. They have to have knowledge.
Sure.
They have to put out. You get the decision, and you're thinking, why? How? What
How did they get to that point?
Right, and I mean, I would like to sit down with them and say, well, tell me what you saw that made you win the fight, that made them win the fight.
Sure.
Don't tell me how, well, they did
well,
this
like
in the
I've
third round.
asked a couple questions that I've seen the punches, because they say, depending on how many punches got in. Now, how many are getting in when they're grabbing?
Not many, and
well,
I don't
that's
see.
My point to this.
Well, here's the whole thing. Like you got the girls that fight Colleen. Now I can easily. I don't know how much time I have on here, but I'd like to.
You've
pull
got a
up,
few minutes.
I like to pull up a screen and show you a couple of the fights, and they've gotten the win. They've gotten the decision. But during that fight, if we sat here counted punches or said who was the had the effective aggressiveness in there, and threw more punches, it's Colleen. It's Colleen. Now, I'm saying that statement now. We could watch the fight later. I'm not going to eat my words. I'm not going to have to explain.
The challenge has been set.
Right. So if anybody can sit there and say, hey, I'm a good judge, I feel that I'm doing good for boxing, then please explain yourself.
Well, what I've noticed is we get these split decisions at times. And I cringe when there's a split decision, because I'm wondering, sometimes they have 5 judges rule on it. Other times there's 3. And I'm like, what did they see? That's the question I have. What did they see?
Yeah, here's something that's kind of funny. You brought up just the words split and decision. Okay?
Yes.
Because you got the Golden Gloves. We had the Golden Gloves on Sunday. The finals here in Pittsburgh. Now, everybody fought, right? All these guys are on there. I think maybe all but 2 fights, maybe even 2 fights if they were split. They were all split decisions.
You're kidding.
Split decision win, split decision win, split decision win, split decision. What is this? You know what I mean? You guys are looking at a fight and not sure what you should judge on. You're not sure. Hey, that fight was competitive because that person was still breathing in there. I don't care about that. If they're not in there letting those gloves fly and they're not effective, I don't care what they're doing in there. They're not
what's
boxing.
The name of the sport? Boxing.
Boxing. Right.
It's not wrestling or grappling or MMA.
But listen to me. If we fight you on Tuesday and we smash you, Colleen smashes you,
yeah,
and then you want a rematch on Friday,
yeah,
somehow you pull out the win, and that's all you did was hell. Now listen, if we fight and we lose, we make adjustments to come back and beat you.
Yeah.
They make adjustments by saying...
I got to interrupt you with a little story to these fans. You had a boxer, some young guy, and he lost a decision or so, and you go, we're going to come out and knock people out the next time.
And what do?
You knocked people out.
Right.
You were dancing around on the sides going crazy.
Right.
Because he come through and knocked these guys out. It's rare to see with headgear people get knocked out.
And I have multiple guys that
yeah,
multiple
there were
guys.
like 3 different fights,
right.
And I'll never forget that night. And I had to bring that up because you instigated that.
Yeah, and this was funny. Listen, God bless all these guys. Every one of the fighters have heart. They're soldiers. They're warriors. They got a lot of heart.
They get up and do this every day. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not disrespecting anybody. I don't mean that. What I'm saying is we're winning and we're getting robbed. Straight up. I mean, look, and there's so much stuff involved in this.
Yeah.
With the politics of it.
I can't even imagine.
It can get real nasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's rules that in the USA boxing, they have rules. If you're an official that have anything to do with the outcome of the match and you're sitting ringside, you can't have any physical or emotional attachment to any of the athletes in the ring.
That sounds simple enough to me.
Right. Well, you should tell the people here in Pittsburgh that.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. We don't want to go down that list, do we, Al?
No.
You might have it. You might not have the friends that you had before the show started. If I keep talking, you know what I mean. But I'm here to
I'll
tell the
just
truth.
tell you, I have a union background that was controversial because of that. I used to see corruption everywhere, and I fought against that.
Yeah.
So,
but now
I may have done it a few years ahead of you, though.
Right, and you know what kills me about this, and this is I shouldn't say this, maybe or maybe
Just
not,
say
but I'm
it.
going to.
You're on Pittsburgh
Sportsline.
Sportsline.
So listen, though, when you see these guys and they come up to you, and they shake your hand,
Okay.
and you know they're corrupt liars, but they're shaking your hand like they're your friend, and they're doing good, and they're just trying. I don't get.
I got that out.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
They give you the knife.
Yeah, watch
Sorry.
out. When I
That's
turn
a
the other
fresh
way, there's
one.
about 6
No,
more.
I don't want to touch those. There's still blood on them.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, look, I think here
I'm
in
only
Pittsburgh,
half kidding because I don't like that either.
I really don't.
And I'll tell you a little history. My dad was a basketball referee,
Right.
and he used to get abused all the time. But here's what's amazing. I had 3 sisters and myself. We couldn't use the bathroom because my dad would be in there reading the rule book. He read the rules all the time. Coaches called the house. Basketball players called. Referees called because my dad, they trusted his judgment. They needed interpretation of what the rules are. And this is what you're getting is something I know about.
Yeah, right.
What's your interpretation of this rule or that rule? Because here's what I'm seeing out there, and you're not following it.
Listen, nobody's perfect, and I know we have a lot to, advance and go through in the game to advance. She has to get a lot of experience and more exposure to bigger fights, bigger
And
names.
how do you get experience unless you're out there boxing?
Right.
So.
And sometimes, when we take a loss or you go back, sometimes an athlete in boxing here in Pittsburgh, you don't necessarily have to go back to the gym and train harder or different to win.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to weed out the cheaters. Once you get rid of the cheaters, you got the real winners.
There
You'll see this year in from Pittsburgh, we have a couple people that are on there. A lot of times they're going to the States. We have some people on there that are actually the B fighters. They already lost, and they chose them to go.
Yeah.
So how do you expect Pittsburgh to come back when you're sending really the B team? You robbed them. You know what I mean?
Well, here's what bothers me with Philadelphia. Their fighters, their top fighters are the ones that are fighting in the competitions. Ours aren't.
Right. Listen,
I've seen that for years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shocking.
It is. It's a shame, but this is the reason why all this happens. You have these people. There's no reason why that during fights you should have, family members or some type working corners, judging your fights, acting like a doctor, and it's a lot of gyms with a lot of corruption going on. There's a lot of stuff around them. You know what I mean? But those gyms, you'll go into a locker room and you'll see, state athletic commissioners in there hugging up on one of the athletes that are about to fight. What are you doing?
That's
what I mean? You're not supposed to do that. I understand you go up and you shake both athletes' hand. You get the respect. You have the respect for both athletes. You don't go in one when you hold a high position and tell them what they need to do to win and how to do this and how to do that. When you're putting her in there, it's all survival mode anyway.
Sure.
It's just hang on.
Put it
Try
like
to stop
this.
Colleen from hitting you.
What did they learn before is what they're going to put out there in the ring.
Yeah, and
it's what you taught them.
In the beginning of the show, you said I seen a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
In her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Now I would like to get some other coaches in the seat, and you look at their fighters and tell them the same thing.
I cannot.
I cannot either. I cannot.
Sorry.
It is what it is.
I have to say it like it is.
Right.
Because I don't throw these compliments out to everybody, and Colleen has proven she's a special fighter. I'm not just saying it because she's here. I talk behind her back the same way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I do sometimes.
That's how I am.
I mean, that's it. I got the little voodoo
I'm just
doll.
kidding. I'm just kidding. No, this is great stuff. I'm glad we could clarify some of it. But what about the acting? I got to at least bring up your acting career here.
Yeah, no.
Come on, actor.
You know what?
You're a SAG member.
Everything's going good. Pittsburgh got some big things coming in here.
What's coming up next?
This summer, I don't know. They're going to be working on a big TV show here.
Whoa,
so
what is it?
I'm hoping. I can't let anything out yet. And,
come on, you're too secretive.
No, but it's coming to Pittsburgh, and I got a little bit of the inside of what's going on.
As well, you should.
Get ready for it. And,
the Puerto Rican prince, look out.
Some big things coming. I'm hoping to stay local and be able to work and stay in the gym with her.
Sure. No, that's great.
So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. What about a couple other fighters? You got any other fighters we should
how about
look for?
little Ryan Doherty? What do you think?
Put it like this. I remember when you brought him to Atria's PNC Park.
Do you remember
that?
Huh?
I got this young fighter, and I go, put him on. You go, can I? I said, yeah, have him on. He's got good karma from Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Yeah, he does. How about that?
He's a good boxer.
3-time Golden Gloves champion.
I know.
He's fought every time.
I remember the first show he was on.
Yeah, little guy. Huh?
Yeah,
now
couldn't even talk much. I know.
Taller,
I don't know how they're all passing you up, buddy. This stuff happens there.
Yeah, these guys
don't
are
worry. My dad, for years, said he was 5'10". When he was 70 years old, I saw his military card. I said, Dad, you lied to me my whole life. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, 1950, you were 5'7". He goes, I'm shrinking. I said, no, 1950, you were in the military.
Yeah, right.
But he lied. My own dad lied to me. But when I was 12 years old, I was eyeball to eyeball with him.
Yeah.
And he said he was 5'10".
Yeah, right.
And they measured me at school 5'7".
Like someone's lying.
I go, there's a liar. And he lied to me my whole life.
Yeah.
So if you can get away with it, that's my point.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Until you have to answer what happened.
Hey, when it comes down to the truth is always going to be there.
I just hope to see improvement. I really do. I hope to see. I understand a lot of these officials are donating their time and giving, a lot of effort to it. But if you're going to go through all of that, just try to make it fair. Try to make it right.
Here's the one question I have: do they get paid or don't they get paid? Because I hear sometimes they do get paid to referee, and sometimes they don't.
Are you trying to ask me about the corruption stuff?
So to me, no, I just have a question on that. Because here's what I do in life: I always follow the money.
Yeah, apparently a lot of these guys do too.
Well, that's my point. Thank you for that answer.
I don't know. You'll see these kids, and you'll see a lot of good talent and hard-working talent end up leaving because of the robberies. You know what I mean? These kids don't have much when they come in the gym, and here we are trying to take more away from them.
Well, when you're working hard and you're losing, that makes it a little problem.
Yeah.
Right?
A fighter knows when you're beat. I'm a fighter. I have lost. I fought some good fighters.
Sure.
And I know what it feels like. And when you're a defeated fighter. A defeated fighter knows.
Sure.
When you come out of that ring.
You can't lie. You're facing one person.
Yeah.
Right? Your heart knows.
Right. They know. And I see these fighters here, and they come out, and my fighters are coming out, and they're saying, hey, look, there was so much holding in there. There was so much pushing, and this, that. It was so awkward. It was everything but boxing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's rough.
How do you circumvent that?
It's just rough, you know what I mean? But in the last fight, the referee and everything like that, Kendall, I'm just going to call him out, he was really good. He was really good official in there as far as refereeing that. And we haven't had too much trouble with that.
Pardon?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Until more recent time when we did face all the girls and they lost.
Yeah.
They wanted to come back for a rematch. And we're like, hey, okay, you can get it again.
Yeah.
But when they come back, they hold. They're like... In my eyes, like when I have a fighter and I put her in the gym to improve, I want her to come out and show me something. Not come out and show me that you're just in survival mode saying, I don't want to take the same beating I took last time, so I'm just going to hold you.
Sure.
Why'd you even call us here?
Yeah, let's box.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we wanted to fight. We didn't come here to hang on to each other.
It makes sense. Well, I'm glad we could clarify some of this.
Me too.
And we teased with a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Coming attractions with Jose.
I still love them all.
I understand. We'll have to see you guys out at the VFW or something.
Yes, I think
Coming
there's a lot
attractions there. Let's look into that.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks. How do they follow you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah,
anything?
Facebook, Instagram. Catch us on the Ray Schaefer Boxing Association, or you catch me,
Tell them where Ray Schaefer's at.
I have it. The Ray Schaefer Boxing Association is in Sharpsburg, right on the main street there, and we have the RSBA Elite Boxing that's over in Millville.
The old VFW. It's
Yes,
fantastic.
sir.
What a venue that is.
Unbelievable, right?
It is.
That's great. That's real old school
I'm a fan.
right there. I love it.
I love old school history.
Me too. So,
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Smoke and
Anytime.
gin, get better.
All right. All right, the next guy I met through Joel Percheski of One World Blue, who's been on our show. This guy has his own entertainment company. He's done some incredible things, and we're going to bring him up right now. Here's the mic for you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a
Nice to
seat.
see you.
Nice seeing
Appreciate
you.
having me on.
Hey, thanks for dinner tonight.
No
Tell
problem.
them your name.
My name's Brad Setting. I run an entertainment company named Setting Entertainment. It's perfect for my name, right? It's like a table setting. That's how I get
It's
people to
sort of
remember
like
me.
Alan Levine, the talking machine. It rhymes.
I know it is. We could go at it all night. You better have a
We'll
recorder
just
going
start.
on and on
Like
that thing.
I told my cameraman that I'm short a couple guests. The football team didn't show up. I said, but I have a guy that could talk more than me.
I know you put us in the Senate, they'd pass whatever we want instantly because they just say shut the hell up, you know?
No, they go keep going with
Oh,
you.
yeah, that's right, maybe
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
because you're new
So,
to the show.
just so everyone knows, I'm the substitute for everyone else. I came because I bought him the pizza. I mean, I got him dinner earlier. He let me on the show. Isn't that nice?
It takes a meal. That's all it takes. I'm easy like that. And it was delicious.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, one of the things I wanted to bring up some in your past because you've done some big shows on Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a couple of those stories? Because I know you're a big sports fan in general.
Yeah, I grew up in Pittsburgh here. And
I don't hear that accent that much.
I know, everyone
How
says-
about downtown or south side,
you lost that. Actually, I
north
changed-
side?
I moved to Los Angeles in 2001 and lived there for 15 years and still travel back and forth from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh. And the funny part is they use the word soda out there, and I started changing the word from pop to soda. And we have the word buggy here,
Yeah.
and they have no clue what buggy is out there.
How
And
about Nat? We got
I don't think they know the word gnat. They know the
Yeah.
word. They don't know the word sweeper.
no sweepers there.
No, they have vacuums. You know, they're all loony out there.
Oh, man.
You know,
How
so-
did you do it
I
for
don't know.
15 years?
I don't know.
Welcome back.
I know, that's why
See,
we
I
get
told
back
you
here.
he can talk. Look what he's bringing up. He's good. Now let's talk about what you did out there.
What I did out there.
The police are
I
coming
know.
now.
I know. They finally found us.
Oh, no, it's fire. We're safe.
Okay, good. Yeah, it is a little hot in here.
It is.
I
Glad they opened that door.
I drove my car across country in 2001. Left my
What
house.
were you looking for?
No, I was looking for a dream in Hollywood because I saw it on television. It looked so great.
Oh, so you
And
watched
when you
TV
go out
as a
to-
kid.
Yeah, I watched TV as a
Hey,
kid.
the guest I had previously, he's made it in Hollywood. He's been on some big movies, Southpaw, Sandman.
Yeah?
Yeah, and boxing.
Who, him?
Jose.
Oh, I didn't know Jose was on
I
there.
wasn't kidding about
Well,
being a
he wouldn't-
SAG member.
he wouldn't-
I
I
don't
didn't
make
hear-
light of that.
I didn't hear that part. I'm gonna look you up on IMDb, find out what that movie
You'll
is.
find he's for
That's-
real.
That's what I was looking up while you
With
were
a face like that, he's got a face for movies.
and for radio.
No,
I mean, I'm
TV.
sorry, for TV. He said that earlier. He always makes
Radio
that comment.
voice.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, radio voice.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
want
it's
to
good. I'll
clarify
talk to you
that.
afterward.
Yeah, go ahead. So you went for the dream.
I went for the dream. It became a nightmare at first. You know, the people weren't exactly the same, but then it's, you just get to, being
Where did you
honest.
learn to talk so fast?
I don't know.
In LA?
Yeah, I had to BS my way out of things. That's my initials. So,
Okay.
I,
So far, so good.
I had to learn
You
how to-
still haven't told me what kind of entertainment you did.
I do event production, and
Okay.
I produced. I worked for Showtime Networks and DirecTV for 10 years, and I did 8 Super Bowl parties.
Hold it. 8 Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, 8.
What does that even mean?
That means you go crazy for a year, and then do the party, and then go crazy again for another year.
And how did it work out? Anybody show
Well,
up?
when I started out in 2001, or no, 2000. That's 2008. That's when I moved in 2001. When I started in 2008,
Okay.
I was working at DirecTV. I ran the national event department for them.
National.
Yeah, and what I did was, I went to the Super Bowl in Arizona,
Okay.
and it was right before I started, and I looked at it, and I thought to myself, man, I know what I can do this thing. And the VIP section was
You wanted to do a Super Bowl party.
a real one, not the one that they were doing. It was as big as this table.
What do you mean by real?
Well, I mean, it really has like an entrance, and you can find where to sit, and
It sounds like common sense.
Yeah, it's organized.
Okay.
You know.
And you wanted to put something like that on.
Yeah, something that was organized. You know, where people like actually get their ticket, they know where they're going. You
and
get
it's
sponsors.
not scattered like you were witnessing.
Well, I mean, I walked in the back door with my family, and so I guess
anybody could come
I could have jumped on stage. You know, thank God people weren't crazy back then.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm just, you know, we turned it into something really big. And it was.
So what was your first event like? Did you have 1,000 people?
The one I went to in Phoenix had about 500 people. The first event I did, and I think we might have talked about this, was at Al Lang Field when the Steelers won the Super Bowl.
You did tell me about it. That's why I'm trying to get it out of you.
Okay, I'm getting it out. When I started,
this has been my toughest thing.
The Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup and the Steelers won the Super Bowl. I thought it was going to be the best time of my life. I got to take my parents, my father, his season tickets to the Steelers for 25 years. You know,
wow.
People don't spend a lot of money all the time around here. My parents are cheap, so you know, getting them free seats
that
was
happens.
great.
Look, you drove out to L.A. That's pretty cheap too.
I know, and I had to buy my own car. So what happened was I went down 3 weeks in advance and started running my mouth.
You mean you talked to people?
I talked to people. I went to a tanning bed, I think, and started talking, walked to all the colleges, and I got 9.
Were you talking to pretty girls?
Yeah, I was talking to pretty girls.
How'd that work out?
I was talking, and it didn't work out too well. Okay. I mean, I was doing a good job, but I was concentrating on getting the people there. You know, I promised things.
Well, see, Smoking Jim has his Sweeties for Jimmy. He takes photos with beautiful women. So I figured you're trying the same type of thing.
No, I just wanted to keep my job back then.
Okay.
You know, and so
you're getting people interested in your events.
That's right. 3 weeks before, and then I got sort of a stir. And people, my father always said, I think I told you this too, do what he wants and he'll shut up.
Yeah, you did.
Right? And so that's
why I'm trying to get you to talk.
People started doing what I wanted. And what we ended up doing, we got 9,000 people to come to the first event.
9,000 for your first event?
Yeah, in Al Lang Stadium. It's where...
Did they need a ticket to get in?
No, they didn't need a ticket. It was free. Okay. So I had to conjure people up. And
word of mouth.
And what I did to really get people at the end was I saw a marching band somewhere, so I hired a marching band to march around the stadium. The entire time, I make up numbers in my head. And
wasn't that an Animal House? That band walked into the wall. They marched into the wall.
I didn't see that, but as long as you're making noise, you can get people to come. So we got 9,000 people there, and it's funny because the owner of the Rays at this time, I don't remember his name because That's
okay. Just tell us what he told you.
He told me. He looked at me down on the field. He said, "How'd you get as many people in the seats? I've never gotten as many people in the seats."
The owner.
I said, because I'm like the talking machine. Well, I mean, I was the talking machine. Now I know what to say. But yeah, it was super successful. We started off slow, and in that first while, we had a huge jump in attendance, but low caliber talent. Well, not so low caliber, but not the big names.
Name some of the talent that you had.
It was All American Rejects, what we started out then. Okay. But then as time went on,
who was next?
Katy Perry, Justin Timberlake.
Those are big stars.
Yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z and
Jay-Z.
Mary J. Blige. And not Alan Levine. No, Alan Levine. Isn't that his name from what's that show called?
I told you he could talk.
What's the people called? He's on The Voice. Alan Levine. No, Adam Levine. Adam Levine.
I'm better looking than Adam. Come on.
Adam Levine. He did the halftime show this year.
He's a long lost cousin.
What we ended up doing then, the last one before I started my own company, which is Setting Entertainment now, and I do the same thing, but for various groups and not for a corporation.
Big $1 billion corp.
Yeah, we had 10,000 people in New York City. Actually, 20,000. It was 2 events during the day.
Tell me the right number.
No, because 2 events times 10, so that's 20.
Okay. 10 plus 10.
Daytime, nighttime event. We had Jay-Z and Beyonce perform at night on a pier. It was.
How were they to work with?
Let's move on to the next subject here.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Bud,
you're sort of like Jose and talking about judges and stuff.
So. Well, you know what? We could probably compare a lot of stories. I mean,
maybe you two can talk after this.
Yeah. So it I played sports back here, but that competitive spirit from Pittsburgh, I brought out to Los Angeles with a be honest, have integrity, and do what you say you're going to do attitude. Well,
look at how be encouraged.
Yeah, I know. I love listening to your story actually because I thought it was great, and I came up with the term. I don't want to say it on here, but you substitute.
No, say it.
You just substitute the A. I can say it.
No, you can't.
I can?
Go ahead. Yeah, we'll let you.
Well, I said,
It's a family show, but you could slip up with the one word. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my cousin, he stinks up the room all the time, and he farts, and they stink.
Okay.
And so I told him...
I don't want to dig too deep on this.
That's it. He eats chili and stuff, and it's not... So I told him, you need to put it, because I talk about effort all the time to people. And so I said, we're going to change the A to an E, and you have to start putting it effort. I'm going to write a book one day, you remember this, called effort. Because you need to put in effort every day. Well, at least in this case.
Not a fart.
No, to make sure that they don't stink.
Yes.
And so that's where I started coming up with the terms. It's just easier to say effort instead of effort. You know what I mean? So,
no, I appreciate that.
And I get where you're coming from about the politics and all this stuff because I run through it with business all the time.
He's told me a few stories.
Yeah, be honest, have integrity, do what you say you're going to do in Pittsburgh here. This is how we learned here. If I went to Los Angeles and you and I were playing poker,
yeah,
this is how it would be, honesty-wise.
I'd be talking and you'd be talking
more.
No,
this is what we'd be doing. You'd be sitting here with your cards and say to me, Brad, what hand do you have? I want to know what to play. And the honesty would say, I have 3 aces and 2 queens.
Yeah.
Well, that's fully honest because we in Pittsburgh learned that one way.
Yeah.
And I'm Italian Catholic Virgo, the worst.
Right. So I tell you, I have 4 aces and 3 jacks.
Well, don't ruin my end of my story here. In Los Angeles, when you do that, you get in trouble. So you have to be, you could say you have three aces. Tactful. Well, 3 aces and leave out the 2 queens or kings or whatever I just said, and still be honest.
Yeah, the 2 queens.
You don't have to just spill the beans. Everybody spills the beans a lot of times, and saying less than necessary usually gets you places. I know you and I don't know much about that, but
whoa,
hey, I'm done.
Why? You got more to tell us.
It's so hot in here.
Hold on, unzip your coat a little bit.
No, because I like how he got his zippered up. That's why I zippered it up.
I understand you LA guys.
And I'm sorry that I have a Saints thing on here. I had a Steelers one on, but my mother ripped it off and placed it with this because I went to the Saints game.
That mother of yours, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's not here. She's not gonna see this, is she?
This will be on YouTube forever. Watch what you say.
Yeah, okay.
I love you, mother. How much time do we have? We got to be close on this one.
Whatever you want to do, Al.
We're done. Thank you very much.
Hey, listen.
I got to... What?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. I end each show with stay Joey strong.